Hey guys, welcome to the second podcast of Stock Picking Insights. This is the audio version of the written posts, and today we'll talk about Inditex qualitative factors. The basic premises. Let's start with the basic premises of a fast fashion company. People like to look good. This applies to anything that others see beauty products, a watch, shoes, an iPhone, you name it. Also, people don't like to wear the same clothes all the time. Think about when someone decides to buy new clothes because their current ones are old. This is the root of the purchase, and Inditex understood this and created a business around it. Now let's go to the business model. First, they get consumer feedback from in store experiences. They also do it from social media and online websites. Then they take that consumer feedback and they go and design the product. The design is centralized in Spain, their headquarters, and that's Certejo. The place where they design, they call it the Cube. They have over 600 designers there. Then they take the design and product and manufacture it and ship it to stores in about 3 weeks. And that's one of their competitive advantages is that they can go through all this process faster than I would say everyone else. Um, the manufacture part is not centralized in Spain, so about 50% of the products are either manufactured in Spain or near Spain, and that's countries like Portugal, Turkey, Morocco. The other 50% are products with predictable demand, so they can wait longer for them. And those products are outsourced to Asian countries mostly. Now that we covered the business model, we can go a little bit deeper. We want new, we want unique, we want it fast. Let's remind the root of the purchase. We dress to self express and cause an impression. And each person has its own way of doing it, leading to a highly fragmented market that wants to meet all the different fashion demands. The small clothing store in your town is targeting a very specific market, for example, made in country clothes. Inditex has several brands for that purpose, so they want to target lots of small specific markets. Wearing new clothes has a novelty factor attached. Appearing in front of your friends with new clothes will spark a conversation, maybe a compliment. We feel fresh wearing our new piece of clothing and out of date when wearing old clothes. We also don't like to wear what everybody uses, and we are highly influenced by what celebrities use. And Inditex is mostly not taking advantage of this because they only use micro influencers, unlike some fully online retailers like Boohoo, for example. All these psychological factors lead to repetitive, frequent purchase and buying more than we need. Inditex is the fastest of all the fashion industry, taking them 3 weeks from design to shelf, as we've seen in the business model. Their competitors take longer to do so, and end up arriving late and less frequently, losing sales and brand relevance. This is very important. The Inditex consumer can expect new, and that means frequently changing, and relevant designs, that means what the consumer wants, anytime. And if a shirt doesn't sell because, for example, if the buttons are uglier than expected, the better version will be there in 2 to 3 weeks because of their fast lead times. And as we've also seen in the business model, that is boosted by proximity manufacturing. Inditex is operationally efficient, and how they do that? They do that with vertical integration and proximity manufacturing. The grand majority of fashion retailers outsources manufacturing to third countries, You can take the example of Nike. They don't manufacture their own clothes. They outsource it to countries in Asia, and by doing that, they end up trading time for lower costs. Inditex also does do that, but only with approximately half of their clothes. The other half is manufactured in either in their own factories or geographically close, as we've seen in the business model, and then they distribute them from their Spanish hub. Um, I invite you to pause and go check the PPE to sales between Inditex and the competition. Another significant advantage: Inditex has the experience of manufacturing, not entirely dependent on third parties to do so. So they have the know how about the manufacturing process. It takes long to integrate manufacturing into a business model. That means that companies that don't yet have manufacturing integrated into the business model, uh, not only do they have to invest the capex to do so, they also have to learn how to do so, and that is twice as costly. Inditex creates operational efficiencies that sustain the status quo. RFID tagging was probably the most important of them. If you know where every item is, it opens doors to manage inventory better, and that also opens doors to other innovations like SINT. With all of this, they turn over the inventory faster and they keep it lower. If a piece of clothing doesn't sell in a store, they may sell it online and it's already there for the taking. Um, I invite you to take a look at day sales of inventory. You will see that Inditex and Boohoo are in the 60s and other competitors are in the hundreds, low hundreds, meaning that to the competitors it will take 100 days to sell their inventory if it will still be relevant by then. Now let's look at bear case for Inditex. Fully online fashion retailers are here to compete. Boohoo is an example, having similar returns on capital due to their asset light business model. They endorse celebrities, unlike Inditex, and they take advantage of consumers' desire to shop and look and dress like a celebrity. They are better at targeting the young crowd. Just take a look at their website. You'll clearly see who they are targeting. And if you put Boohoo website and, for example, Zara website side by side, it's a huge difference. They also Boohoo has also a high tendency to always discount their products, and that's a very different approach. Inditex's biggest strength makes it harder for them to expand geographically compared to some of their competitors. Although they can ship it to anywhere in 48 hours, a company like Fast Retailing is the owner of Uniqlo, is much better positioned to take the Asian market with access to cheaper and closer labor. It will be hard to copy vertical integration and manufacturing expertise, though. Finally, a big brand can distort the laws of fashion. What I mean by this is that, for example, Nike and its influential brand cannot worry so much about lead times, um, which we were just saying that it was their Inditex biggest competitive advantage. Because people like most of what Nike puts out. So they order months in advance, and I don't mean the consumers. I mean Nike. Nike orders their products months in advance because they outsource it to third countries. This, of course, takes up wardrobe space. That's it for today. We'll have left a lot of ground to cover. Despite that, this article and its audio version should give you some insights on why Inditex succeeded and why it is well positioned to do so in the future. If you want to check the written version of this podcast, you can go to the website. That's stockpickinginsights.com. And we'll see you next week.